That's my thing. Now, Hendo, I want to throw this one to you.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn fired their coach, and it's been some rumblings in the air. Is this something Deion should consider? Do you think Deion is a top candidate? Do you think Auburn would consider Deion as well?
Uh so the Dion thing is interesting because I know there's some dynamic of what he's done for the HBCU, um, what he's done with Jackson State. I think they should consider him. College football is in need of a guy like that in a bigger power conference. Dion does have the cachet with NFL teams and organizations, and I think that helps them from a recruiting standpoint too. Because you get guys like one thing is like when you go to Bama, when you go to Georgia, the first thing that's talked about, yeah, we want you here, education is everything, but you got a chance of making the NFL. And I think that if you get a Dion in there, who wouldn't want to go play for arguably to me, in my opinion, one of the 10 greatest football players ever? And will it help them win immediately? I don't know. But I also think that Dion has the charisma to put people in the seats. We never really had that as with coaches, right? Like Nick Saban is Kirby Smart. Those guys are great guys, but they're not like put people in the seats. Their talent puts people in the seats and how they coach. But Dion's gonna put people in the seats just because he's Dion. Now, if I'm Florida State, I'm probably looking at it like, dang, we probably should have jumped on that a little sooner. But I think they should give him a chance, and I think that like his recruiting is going to be phenomenal. I mean, look what he was able to do to get the kid that he got. I mean, to go to Jack State. I think that now
Travis.
he's going to have the money, the resources, the opportunity. Now I don't know how they're going to feel about his antics. That's going to be another story. But I also think guys like Nick Saban, the SEC, they're going to embrace that because that's another guy you can put on TV every week. And think about the SEC, that network, like that programming, how that's going to work.
Yeah.
You can put Auburn on TV. You can put Dion on TV every week. People love Dion. You either love him or hate him, but he's probably more loved. So I think they
Yeah.
should give him a chance. And I think if I'm a recruit, I'm looking at obviously I'll probably take Georgia because of who they are and Bama, but I wouldn't be bad to go play for Dion either right
I mean, first things first, Auburn would be doing itself a disservice if they didn't kick the tires on Dion, trying to get him there as a head coach. Um, my biggest thing about Dion at Jackson State is at what point are you going to play somebody? I get you dominating the SWAC. You play other small schools, but at what point do you like the product on the field becomes impressive? Like, and that only happens if you actually play some good competition.
now.
You're not gonna find good competition in the SWAC. So at what point will Dion feel I got enough talent on my team to go play? And I'm not saying go play an SEC school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go play a Sunbelt school. Go play a top, a top half of the league Sunbelt school or a Mountain West school. At what point does that happen? Like, because at some point that may get old and stale. Like right now, he's top of the world. He has everybody talking about who is SWAC. I am SWAC, and that's cool. He got all the HBCUs feeling good about themselves, thinking they can be the next one. But at some point, he's going to have to produce something other than getting a bunch of transfers, um, you know, doing a bunch of videos and all that. He's going to have to produce on the field. So, but back to my original point, Auburn would be doing themselves a disservice if they didn't kick the tires on him.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Mal. I think Auburn has to reach out. I think Dion has to consider it, entertain it. I think that's the words that he used. Hey, I will entertain the offer. I don't think I don't think Dion fits. And Hendo, I think based on the reasons, a lot of the reasons that you said, Dion is a personality within itself. And one thing that Jackson State gives Dion the ability to be is himself. And with him being himself, I don't see a Auburn allowing Key Glock to be in the locker room, Snoop Dogg to be in the locker room. When you seeing Dion on the field during the middle of the game, you know what I'm saying, and they playing C Murder, during the middle of the game. I don't think Auburn is ready for that. And so I think if Deion goes to a Power Five school, he's going to have to coach a Power Five school their way. But he's been able to build Jackson State his way. And so I don't think it's a money issue. I mean, Deion is still heavily endorsed. I mean, he got Beats. He has Aflac. It's not like he's hurting getting money for himself in that standpoint. So I think if he goes to Auburn, it's going to be more than the school. Like you mentioned Nick Saban. Nick Saban, as great as Nick Saban is, probably the best football coach ever. He's not bigger than Alabama. All right, he's a god in Alabama, but he's not bigger than Alabama. But Deion as a personality, Jackson State allows Jackson State to be Deion. So I don't think it's a good fit. But I'm glad to see Deion has some value in the coaching ranks. But Maul, I agree with you as well. I don't know if they changed this year will the SWAC champion be able to go and compete in the Division One AA playoffs. Like I want to see them play some North Dakota states. Let's see where Jackson State ranks up when you put a hat on the hat against the other D1 AA schools because
Exactly.
he's the big fish in this pond. But even though this is year 2, it seems a little bit longer because we had that abbreviated COVID season that they played in the spring. But this is technically still year 2. But I want to see what Deion matches up when we go into these bigger ponds with the North Dakota states and all those guys as well. So now